Namaste all. This is Sri Rajaji in Orlando, Florida, participating in the 12th annual Swaha International Gita Forum academic session organized in Trinidad and Tobago. This forum is broadcast on national television on IETV. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritivarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini. Om. I bow to the Divine Mother Amba, who is in the form of this Bhagavad Gita, which was taught to Arjuna by Narayana himself. It was composed by Vyasa and it's found in the Mahabharata text of 18 chapters, and it gives us the nectar of Advaita. Many famous people across the globe for centuries have commented and spoken highly of the Bhagavad Gita. And this is because the Bhagavad Gita has been the answer and solution to the biggest and most important questions of life. It has been a source book for centuries, and it will continue to be so. This text, the Bhagavad Gita, this conversation of questions and answers between Arjuna and Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is the gateway to success, joy, fulfillment. I can vouch for that. If it is taught to you, properly unfolded, it will lead you to your true self as a complete, satisfied and fulfilled being. That wholesome being that you are, but you just don't know it because of your social programming. It's a unique text, and everyone can find something that resonates with them in this Bhagavad Gita. And the deeper you look into this amazing book, you will come to understand that you are not limited to this mind and body. You are not limited by the social programming that makes you incorrectly conclude that you are an unhappy and unfulfilled being. I do realize that the Bhagavad Gita can be interpreted at various levels, but if taught properly, you can get to the highest meaning and understanding of, number one, who you truly are. Number two, what is the nature of this universe? Number three, an in-depth understanding of what we refer to as God. Number four, why is there suffering, and how to handle the inequities and equalities we see in life around us, and how to free ourselves from all of it. Number five, liberation and freedom from all the problems and limitations we face. And number six, the methods, practices and disciplines to achieve that freedom, that liberation, that fullness. This is all found in this wonderful text. These 6 topics in Sanskrit terminology are Jiva, Jagata, Ishvara, Bandha, Moksha, Sadhanani. And these 6 topics come to life and are dealt with deftly in the Bhagavad Gita at the highest level when it is taught by someone who knows this. And if any philosophy doesn't cover these 6 topics, then there's a lot lost, there's a lot left out. If it doesn't cover all 6 of these Jiva, Jagata, Ishvara, Bandha, Moksha, Sadhanani, if it doesn't in-depthly deal with this and handle these concepts. And when I say taught by someone, I'm not referring to someone who claims that he or she discovered this all by himself or herself. I'm referring to someone who has been taught by a guru, who was taught by his guru, who was taught by her guru, who is also taught by a guru, until you end up at the source guru, the source teacher, the source of this knowledge, the original guru, the original teacher, who of course is Bhagavan himself, Bhagavati herself. As you may already know, that the concept of that original supreme being is neither male nor female, but can be all in Sanatana Dharma Hinduism. It is not limited to gender issues. And the word Brahman is used to denote that supreme timeless reality. This is a vision of the Vedas, the Puranas, and in this case the Bhagavad Gita. And it's not surprising that the topics, the various yogas as outlined in every chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, did not originate in the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself says this knowledge, this vision, was taught many times before, but was relatively lost to the public. So he once again taught it to Arjuna for our benefit. You see, these topics, ideas and concepts are also found in the oldest source book of Shruti called the Upanishads, which are part of the Vedas. In fact, there are verses in the Bhagavad Gita where you can see the direct link to the Upanishad. For example, in the Kathopanishad, in 1-18 of the Kathopanishad, it says, Na jayate mriyate va vipaschit nayam kutaschit na babuva kaschit ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. And compare this to Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 20. What does it say? Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. In the first line in the Upanishad, only one word is changed, vipaschit. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's changed to kadachin. And in the last two lines, it says exactly the same thing. Ajo nitya shashvato yam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire, both in the Upanishad and in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 20. So it seems that Bhagavan Sri Krishna simply lifted this verse from the Kathopanishad. Also in Kathopanishad 1-19, the last line says, Ubau tau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. And guess what the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 19, the last line says, Ubau tau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. And there are many more examples of this in other Upanishads. At the end of each chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, it actually says, Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishadsu. This is stating that the subject matter in the Bhagavad Gita is considered Upanishad because it is the same as found in the Upanishad. And similarly, in the Upanishad, the teaching is in the form of a dialogue of questions and answers between the teacher and student. And this is important to know because our tradition is based on teaching and learning, knowing, not believing. So you're allowed to ask questions. And the teacher is capable of answering those questions. There's no such thing as, well, you can't ask this question, that's blasphemy. You can ask the question, you're supposed to ask the question. That is the difference of this tradition. It is not a believing tradition, it is a knowing tradition. So this amazing text, this Gita is the gateway to the vast Upanishads. But you wouldn't know this if you delve into it by yourself. To get its real depths, which will simply blow your mind. You need a teacher, a guru who can handle the words of the Gita properly. I was lucky to have such a guru. But before meeting my guru, I also read the entire Bhagavad Gita from start to end. And I prematurely thought I knew what the Gita was all about. Then I realized after being taught by my guru that previously I had only interpreted and concluded to my satisfaction for my emotions and my intellect at that particular time. That's how I had interpreted. And this is what happens when you read the Bhagavad Gita by yourself. Based on where you are intellectually, emotionally at that time, that is what you get out of it. And every time you read it again, you will find something more, something new. But you will never get that truest, highest meaning and purpose of the Gita all by yourself, even if you're very brilliant. Trust me, I've listened to many academic scholars and brilliant people talk about Bhagavad Gita, and they miss the higher meaning, the real meaning and the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. You see, our thinking faculty is designed for survival and solving the most complex issues and challenges of life. But use your mind and intellect as you may on your own, and it will not lead you to the conclusion that you are already free, that you are free from all your imagined limitation. But this knowledge, by the knowledgeable guru, he can unfold this vision masterfully. You may beat up yourself with your current conclusions that you are just your mind and body. And to keep your mind and body happy, you have to accomplish a lot. You have to work hard. You have to suffer daily to meet the challenges of life. You probably already concluded that you have to gain wealth, success, fame, relationships, maybe even heaven. And the list goes on. But the Bhagavad Gita teaches you that you are already that perfect, complete, fulfilled, immortal, timeless being that you seek to be, that you want to be, that you wish to be. You are already that Satchidananda Atma. You just don't know it. Your conclusions are wrong and your thinking has been compromised. The Bhagavad Gita says when also. It doesn't say this you will know or understand you are that Satchidananda later in heaven, not next week, not tomorrow, but right here, right now, at this moment you are Satchidananda Atma. And the Bhagavad Gita doesn't only teach Brahma Vidya, it also teaches Yoga Shastra, as it is written at the end of each chapter. It says, Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. There it says Brahma Vidyayam and Yoga Shastra. It teaches Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. And the Yoga Shastra, it gives you many techniques, strategies, and disciplines to handle your daily situations and challenges of life. Literally, the benefits of this book is priceless and endless. At this point, you're probably saying, I should look into this text, the Bhagavad Gita, further. So I encourage you, go ahead and start, and it will show you the way as it has shown me. And just as my Guru unfolded it verse by verse and page by page to me, same can happen to you. You can have that same teaching. You too can be blessed by this extraordinary book. My pranams to Mother Bhagavad Gita. One of the most important texts, one of the most important books you will ever come across in your lifetime. Hari Om, Shanti, 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 Hari Om.